In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why you keep procrastinating, the real reason why you keep procrastinating, and why it has nothing to do with you being lazy, undisciplined, or lacking motivation. Because quite frankly, you're probably more motivated than ever, but you're constantly feeling like you're hitting your head against this wall that's stopping you from achieving your goals. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why you haven't done the things that you said you wanted to do in order to achieve this goal, and you will learn the framework that I've used in order to stop myself from procrastinating, and that I use daily in order to keep myself from procrastinating. And you'll learn how to implement it today, not next week, not next month, but today. So let's get straight to it. Now, I will start off by saying that I'm not putting myself on a high pedestal here, because I'm not perfect and I will never be, and I'm not claiming to be any mindset coach who has all this expertise in this field. I'm just gonna say what has helped me and the story of how I kept procrastinating and putting all these things off, and how I now have a tool to manage it. So it's actually fun, because for the past 6 months, where it's weird, for the past 6 months, I've been procrastinating with doing outreach, because I am running a business where I write VSLs for people. And before I did that, I was working for an agency where I wrote copy and built landing pages for them. And I finally decided to go on my own. And I knew that one of the fastest ways, or one of the most one of the ways that would have the biggest ROI, let me just say it differently, would be doing outreach. But I also knew that I'm starting a new chapter here. Might as well just build the solid foundation, find out who's my target market, what is my offer, and what I'm going to say to these people, what is my new opportunity that I'm doing differently than anybody else. And a month went by, and I started to figure all these things out, and then it hit me again, probably need to start doing some outreach in order to get this business running. But then when another month by, and I was trying to make content, it was a great idea, dig my well before I'm thirsty, so this content ecosystem will just take off at one point. But I still knew I needed to do outreach, and I kept procrastinating. I kept putting this thing off and said next month, next week, or something like that, where I kept lying to myself that I needed to do this before I do that, even though I knew deep down that this would be the thing that would move me the furthest. And then all the months just went by, and now we are at month 6, and it was weird and miserable, and the way that your mind has to keep coming up with all these stories and excuses to why you haven't done the things, to put a bow tie on and close the open loop of why you're not doing the things that you're supposed to do, and putting the things off. And it's weird, and it's really messing with you, because you have this big dream that you need to achieve, and you need to do this thing in order to achieve that goal, but you don't do it. You keep putting it off and telling lies to yourself. And not enough, or is this you're being hard on yourself of why am I not doing this? I need to do this. And whenever you sit at your desk, you can't do it. It's all this tension starts to get inside you, and you become stiff. And even further than that, and even worse than that, is that when you start to mix it with social interactions, people that you love, like your family and friends, you feel this weird thing, they are looking at you in some weird way, because you think that they know that you are not doing what you're supposed to do, but you have not told them what you're supposed to do. So it's this weird feeling of, do they know that I'm not doing what I need to do in order to get this? And it's this constant guilt, and you cannot look at people the same way. It's hard. It's hard, and it's tearing on you feel this guilt and shame all the time because you feel like they know that you're not doing the things that you're supposed to do. And this can really do some damage on you if you're not like if you're not trying to figure out a way to solve this problem. But what I kept doing was that I kept putting things off and told myself these lies that, oh, I probably should do some more research. I probably should do this. I probably should do all these things before doing the actual work. And this is, they say, is a quote from Chris Williamson. Like, thinking about doing the work is not doing the work. Saying that you want to do the work is not doing the work. Preparing the work is not doing the work. Only doing the work is doing the work. But as these days were going, these months were passing by, one day I sat down and I told myself I probably need to do some more research. And I start like opening the tab of the YouTube tab and running through the For You page. And then I saw a video from Myron Golden that says, how to stop procrastinating. And it was like the truth just came through there, and a angel sent above down to me and said, like, you need to do some serious things about this. There's a problem right here. So I clicked the video and I was just glued to the screen. And the thing was that he told, like, I had this belief that he was just gonna give these shallow advice about how to do this. I've heard a ton of this before, but he had a different approach here. And the essence of the all was that he talked about that procrastination is the fear of failing. That is the only thing that procrastination is. And the reason why you procrastinate is that you have this fear of failing, that you would rather put it off and not fail and just put yourself, like, be in this position of calm. But inside your mind, it's not calm. I can tell you that. And you've probably also experienced that. Like, you will start, there is a ton of chaos. But deep down, subconscious level, and this human nature, it's the fear of failure, that you're going to be seen as in others' eyes as the failure. You have, and even the mixing the cocktail with something that you've talked about, a dream of yours that is so big and you're so vivid about it and you really want to achieve that. But the fear of going out there and actually doing the work that it takes to achieve that goal, and the chance of you failing with that and have to look the other people, the people that you love, the people that want to see you fall, look them in the eyes and they see you, that you've failed, that is just on a subconscious level, that will tear you down, and your mind will just try to avoid that at all cost. And that's why you keep procrastinating. That's why you keep putting things off, because you would rather not have this fear of looking people in the eyes and said, I failed, and you would rather than just be in this pause, like this middle ground of not doing anything. But the real thing comes in here when you start to realize that the only real way that you actually can fail is not by doing anything at all. It's the real reason, like the real way that you can only fail is not by doing anything. And that is why it's so contradictory, because procrastination is about the fear of failure. But once you realize the only way that you can fail is not by doing anything at all, then procrastination eliminates itself, because then it's all about doing the work, even though you will suck at it, even though it will be the worst work that you've ever done, you'll still win because you're doing the work and you're not putting things off, because that is failure. Failure is not doing the work. So, and that is just weird, because when I started to do outreach there, after I watched this video, oh my God, I need to do outreach now. And that was the first thing that I did. And before Like every time I had to sit down, I was empty. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start. But what I did was that, all right, just gotta do something. And I sat there and the first message, like I was doing voice memos there. So I was just talking this mic and I was having this like anxiety in my head, fear of failure. But I did it. And then I like released it and then it sent automatically. And then I was like, all right, I need to get out of here. And I found the next one. So I kept this cycle before my brain has really realized it. But then what started like 5 messages in was like all the floodgates just opened. I felt like I had the banger script now. I've tried, like the more outreach messages I sent, the more like I can shorten it down. Like probably need to shorten it down and need to say this and this and that, and all these ideas just came flowing in, and it was crazy that all this was inside of me, but it was just hidden away because I was procrastinating. I was not hitting like head on the task that I needed to do. And it was just a wild experience. Now, another thing is that it's so weird that whenever we meet resistance, this is really also a key metric here. I learned it from Russell Brunson. But another thing about procrastination is that whenever you feel like, all right, I'm procrastinating right now, you can almost see the goal, the one thing that you want to achieve is a tree, and the resistance of that, you're procrastinating, sitting there, all right, I'm probably like I need to force myself to do this. There's so much resistance. That is the shadow of this tree. But the thing is, you can only see the shadow before you do the work. And the bigger the shadow is, the bigger you can already tell that this goal that you're pursuing is. So actually what this means is that the more urge you have to procrastinate, the more resistance that you meet, you can already tell that this is a far bigger opportunity, it's a far bigger goal to pursue. It's the thing that you want to go for because it has a bigger. It's the shadow, like this is the tree and the resistance is the shadow. So that is why it's actually a good thing. That is how you can flip this thing around and see, all right, I meet a lot of resistance here. I have to push this through because I will get a far bigger outcome at the end. Now, I want to give you guys, like here at the end, the framework that I've used and that I use still to keep myself away from procrastinating and hitting these things head on. And when I know I meet big resistance, I use these tools to fight myself through in order to get that outcome. So the first thing, I have the framework here. So the first thing that you want to do, and I also learned this from Russell Brunson, is whenever you meet resistance, is that you find a notebook and you find a pen and you write down every single time you meet resistance, because then you become aware of it. Because sometimes you've probably already experienced it. You don't even know that you're procrastinating. You're just finding, like 2 hours just passed by, you find yourself sitting here and scrolling your phone and you think, what the heck am I doing? Why am I not just pursuing my goal? Then you sit down at the desk trying to pursue it again and nothing comes out, and you start to put it off again, and you go straight back to that phone, playing games, scrolling on Instagram, watching Netflix. I don't know what you're doing, but all these things start to happen, and it's because you didn't realize it in the beginning, and it's just become something that's been on autopilot. So what you need to do is jot down every single time that you meet resistance, because then you become aware of it. You tell your conscious mind, tell your subconscious mind that we are doing something here that we don't want to do and we need to stop it. So that is the first thing that you want to do. The next thing that you want to do is that you want to make this task that you need to do in order to get your outcome, you want to make it as bite-sized as possible. And what this means is like, basically me filming filming this video right here. I was already procrastinating, but what I did was that I said to myself, all right, don't have to film a whole video. Just put up the gear and try to figure out an outline for this video. All right, now I've done that. Then you can try to make the hook, and if after you've done that, like, you can see what you want to do after that. So you're basically putting things down into bite size. See, all right, until you have this big task that you're doing, and until you can't break it down any further, you have the outline there. I need to do this, and that, because then you don't have time to stop up and stall because you don't know what to do, and you don't have time to stop up and go the other route. Like, everything is just laid out for you. And what you need to do also to enhance this is that you set a two-minute timer and said, I'm going to do this for 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes, we're going to see what will happen. It's basically me the same way that, all right, whenever I wake up, I'm going to kick myself out of my bed. What's the next thing I'm going to do? All right, I will try to put on some gym clothes. If after I've put on some gym clothes, if I don't want to go to the gym, I can go straight to bed. But mostly what happens after I've put on some gym clothes, like, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to get my car keys and then walk out to the car. And then I go to the gym and say, after I've gone to the gym, you can go back and sleep. But what happens after that, I've got so much energy after the gym that I can just go straight to work. That's the same thing that we're doing here. We're going to set off, just going to do this small task for 2 minutes. After I've done that, you'll just set yourself up to do the other task, because you're trying to get motion. And then you will get the same feeling of the floodgates just opening, the same way that I did when I was doing outreach. Like, the same way that when I just started sending out these 5-minute messages, like, I had a whole script then. Like, everything just became more clear, and all these ideas just came rushing that has been hidden because I start gaining momentum. Now, the third thing that you want to do is that you want to create meaning for this thing that you're doing, because most times we don't know even why we're doing this. Like, we can't really see the reason why we're doing this. So we want to figure out, why am I doing this? Create meaning for it. Like, attach this thing that you're doing. It's the key thing to my goal. Actually visualize, just by me doing it, what will happen. Like, try to just doing the work. Like, visualize you doing the work, and at a timeline, what will happen from 10 years now. And then the next thing, you can, like, even to frighten yourself, visualize yourself sitting with the phone. What will happen 10 years from then if you just sit with the phone? Like, there will come 2 different pictures, and then you will create meaning and you'll create meaning behind the task you're doing, because you can see yourself what this will do in the end of it. And whenever you are doing the task that you have set yourself to do, like, you will have more trust in the words that you say. Just as if a guy who says he'll be there, you have an appointment with him, and he says that he'll be there on time, and he comes on time, like, you can trust his word. But if he don't come on time, even though you have scheduled it, you will stop to trust him. It's the same with you. If you don't keep your words, you'll start losing trust in your words. And that's why you have to keep your own words. It's iron welded. And that's why you have to have meaning behind what you're doing, so you actually have an intention in what you're doing. And again, back to step 2, you need to put these down in bite size, so you have an overview of what you're doing, and put them down to about bite size. And at last, what you need to keep reminding yourself of. Like, if there's only one thing that you have, like, you take from this video, is that procrastination is the fear of failure. But the only way that you can fail is by not doing anything at all. That is the only way that you can fail. Just as Alex Moses says, like, the only way that you can go out of business is when you quit. It's when you quit, and that is not doing the work that you're supposed to do. So that's why you just have to separate yourself from the outcome. Like, do the things and have no expectation from whatsoever that you're doing. Send these messages and not expect anybody to reply, because then you don't have any expectations set to this outcome. You will not be unhappy with the outcome because you have not set your expectations to anything. Don't have any expectations, because when you do, you'll start to be irritated on yourself because you didn't hit these goals. That is the secret of it. So keep reminding yourself that procrastination is the fear of failure. The only way that you can fail is not by doing the work. That being said, I hope this video was helpful. It was probably a bit long, but try to go back to it, see if you can use some of these things. This has definitely helped me stop procrastinating. And as you know, I've been procrastinating with doing outreach for 6 months. And after watching that video with Myron Golden, it just changed my entire perception of what procrastination is. And then I use these tools every single day to keep myself from procrastinating. So on that note, I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace. Bye.